You know you're getting old when you start saying things like, back in my day. And trust me, I never thought at 19 I'd already be reminiscing about the good old days, but here I am making a whole video about the golden age of television. Now for my audience who were born after the year 2005, you'll probably find this video extremely boring and confusing. But for the rest of you, let's take a trip down memory lane. Kids today will never understand the feeling of turning on the TV after a long hard day at school. You didn't get to choose, you just accepted whatever was on and loved it. Now kids have the luxury to just search up whatever they want to watch on Netflix. Instant entertainment. Where's the pain, the suffering, the ad? Do you suck at writing? Did your English teacher give up on you? Are you a disappointment to your family? Grammarly, making dumb people sound smart since '09. So every 10 minutes your show just stopped? Yep. And you couldn't skip it? Nope. Sounds like torture. You don't know the half of it, son. Google defines nostalgia bias as a psychological phenomenon where people perceive the past as better than the present. And sure, you might accuse me of nostalgia bias in this video, but when it comes to animated television, that nostalgia is justified. If you grew up in the 2000s, you know exactly what I mean when I say animation studios could not miss. Toy Story, Monsters Inc., The Incredibles, Cars, Shrek, Madagascar, Ice Age, Finding Nemo, absolute masterpieces. But even the hidden relics that felt like fever dreams, Over the Hedge, Flushed Away, Robots, Monster House. Let's talk about Shrek for a second. You think Frozen was a big deal? Nah, Shrek revolutionized the game. Not only was it funny, it also had emotional depth. The characters were all so well written, and don't get me started on the soundtrack.
Somebody once told me
a movie about an ogre and a donkey saving a princess? Genius. Show me one animated movie from the last 5 years that had a grip on the world like Shrek did. Go ahead. I'll wait. And let's not forget about the studios that crafted these masterpieces. DreamWorks, Pixar, and Disney, the holy trinity of our childhoods. These movies knew how to hit you in your feels. You'd be laughing one second, then crying the next. Despicable Me, Ratatouille, The Lion King, Megamind. They weren't just movies, they were like lessons wrapped in laughter. Looking back now, it almost feels like there was a magic in the way animation was crafted back then. Sure, we had all the technology, but it was the way the stories were told that made these films stand out. The characters had depth, humor, and heart. It wasn't just about creating something that was flashy, it was about making something that stuck with you. You could watch Toy Story for the 20th time and still notice something new every time.
Bo Peep! What's going on here?
You've got a friend in me?
Every frame, every line of dialogue was carefully constructed to build a world that felt real. Compare that to today, where CGI can make anything look pretty, but where's the heart behind it? Sure, we still have great movies and shows, but it just doesn't feel the same. Also, can we take a second to appreciate how Toy Story was the first animated movie made with CGI? And even today, 30 years later, the animation still holds up. You know, Bo, they don't call me Woody for nothing. Coming home from school was the highlight of my day. Sitting so close to the TV that my eyes were basically kissing the screen. My mom always warned me, saying if I sit too close, my eyes would turn square. I'm sorry, Ma. I should have listened. And the cartoon shows? Absolute gold. Nothing will ever come close to peak Cartoon Network. Adventure Time, The Amazing World of Gumball, Ben 10, Teen Titans Go, and the greatest TV show of all time. Nowadays kids have what? TikToks of people making brain-rotted dance videos? Where's the plot? Where's the punchline? Where's the...
Mom!
As a wise man once said, it's the struggle along the journey that makes the outcome that much sweeter. And trust me, watching movies back then was a struggle. Back in my day, there were only 3 ways to watch movies. On TV, that too only on Friday afternoons, DVDs, and VHS tapes. Huh? Now as a kid, we didn't have endless DVDs, and if we did, they were probably dubbed in some random language.
世界一のファンだもん。
Nani?
So we used the holy grail, the VCR. For my Gen Alpha viewers, a VCR was like Netflix, but if Netflix was a giant plastic brick that held only 3 movies at once. So whenever a movie would be streaming on TV, you would press record on the VCR, and then just like magic, we could now watch the same movie again and again and again and again, whenever we wanted. And let's not forget about the ultimate mood killer, losing the remote. My mum was very protective of our TV remote. We had a strict rule of not being allowed to sit on the sofa with the remote in our hands in case it got lost in one of the couch cracks, in which case, the remote was lost forever. In fact, my mum was so protective of the TV remote that she would wrap the remote in plastic like it was some valuable art piece. To this day, I still don't know what a TV remote feels like on my bare skin. Kids today will never know the struggle. I still remember having to blow into my DVD player every time just to make Shrek 2 work. And remember how we used to plan our entire day around TV schedules? Like you had to be home by 3 PM because that's when SpongeBob came on. If you missed it, tough luck. No rewinds, no replays. Even the anticipation was magical. Remember those coming up next segments? You'd hear the voiceover guy say, "Up next, an all-new episode of Adventure Time." And it felt like Christmas morning came early. Nowadays, everything is just dumped onto streaming platforms at once. No build-up, no suspense, just BAM! All episodes available now. Where's the excitement in that? And don't even get me started on the ads. Yeah, nowadays everyone hates ads, but back then, sometimes I watched TV just for the ads. Introducing the brand new Board Flakes. Cereal so bland, even your grandma wouldn't eat it. Toy commercials were like mini trailers for the coolest stuff you'd beg your parents for. Happy Meal ads made you believe that if you didn't get that one limited edition toy, your childhood would be incomplete. Even cereal ads had me convinced that breakfast could turn me into a superhero. Ads weren't interruptions, they were part of the experience. As kids, we would find fun in anything. We used to sit for hours on end staring at a DVD logo hoping it would hit the corner. Recently I just bought a new laptop, and while I was checking it out, I realized that it had no disk drive. And that was the moment I realized my childhood was officially over. Like, excuse me, where am I supposed to put my exclusive Russian dubbed Toy Story 2 DVD? In the USB port? DVD players and VCRs are now officially considered ancient relics. Dad, what's that? That right there, son, that was my childhood. Look, I'm not gonna lie, streaming services are convenient, and of course I use them. You can watch anything anytime you want. But that's kind of the problem, isn't it? Back then you didn't get to choose. You watched whatever was on TV, and somehow that made it better. Like there was something magical about stumbling upon your favorite episode of The Fairly Odd Parents by accident. Now you can just binge the entire series in a weekend, and suddenly, it doesn't feel as special anymore. Also, let's be real. Scrolling through Netflix for 45 minutes trying to find something to watch is basically the modern version of standing in front of a fridge full of food and saying there's nothing to eat. Close the damn fridge! I'm not saying all new animation is bad, and honestly, the evolution of animation is quite impressive, like the animated Spider-Man movies, masterpieces. But back then, even the forgettable movies slapped. Like when was the last time you even thought about Monster House? Exactly, but that movie was amazing. Even the weird stuff like Chicken Little and Horton Hears a Who had us hooked. Nowadays, I feel like animated movies have lost that magical charm they once used to have. Like, yeah, the animation is good, but where's the emotional trauma that movies like Finding Nemo gave me? Maybe it's not the animation that's gotten worse. As much as it hurts me to say, maybe I've just grown up. There's something heartbreaking about realizing that your childhood is gone. That you'll never be that happy little kid watching Cars without a care in the world ever again. But that's the thing about nostalgia. It makes you miss things, even if they weren't perfect. And realizing that your childhood now only exists in memories is heartbreaking. So as much as I want to be 10 again, watching my favorite shows on TV after school, while eating my favorite peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I have to accept that I'll never be that kid again, and that's a tough pill to swallow. So here's to the golden age of animation, to the scratched DVDs, broken VHS tapes, and the Japanese dubbed Ice Age movies. To a time when wondering what was on TV on Saturday morning was your biggest worry in the world. Kids today might have TikTok and YouTube, but they'll never know the struggle of rewinding a VHS tape with your finger or trying to fix a DVD by blowing on it and rubbing it on your shirt. And honestly, I feel bad for them. As I sit here on my couch thinking about how we've gone from VCRs to streaming, I realize one thing. Maybe it's not about what's new or old, but how we remember the stories. Even though we moved on to fancier technology, some things will never be replaced.